Joining us now to break down this scandal is Nihal Krishan, an economic policy reporter for the Washington Examiner. Nihal, when it comes to this situation, it seems like there's just a lot of uncertainty. It seems like a lot of people know that this looks wrong, but it may not be illegal. Can you just break this down for lay people like me and maybe some of our viewers that don't really know the ins and outs of this situation?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks so much for having me. So the situation is it's a sincere, humongous problem of optics, essentially, because senators are legally allowed to invest in the stock market and have ownership and participation in a number of corporations, but there cannot be any sense of insider trading because any sort of organization that they have jurisdiction over, whether they're getting classified information on defense or intelligence, like Senator Burr from North Carolina did, any organizations or companies that they invest in that they get secretive proprietary information that is not given to the public, they cannot act upon information like that, and that is what is considered to be illegal and of course ethically improper. And so this is a case where many of these senators, it appears like they have gotten, specifically Richard Burr, have gotten information before the public has and acted upon it, and that's what makes it seem unfair.
Okay, and so I've seen a lot of reports, too, saying that this may not necessarily be illegal. I guess there's a lot of case law and different jurisprudence when it comes to this, saying that it might not necessarily be illegal, but it's at the very least unethical. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. The issue here is more of a perception of how the public looks at senators like this, who they feel put their own personal interests and fortunes and treasures ahead of that of the public. And it is more of an ethical, moral issue rather than one that is likely to put them behind bars.
Okay, and I've seen a lot of people, too, saying that if this is legal, it's something that Congress should take up and maybe make illegal, because it kind of seems like a public servant should be working in the best interest of the public and not their own private interests. But while I have you here, too, this comes at a time where markets are volatile. There's uncertainty when it comes to the economy. There's a lot going on. So I just kind of want to get your opinion. What is the big story right now when it comes to the economy, big picture?
So the big story is that, unfortunately, it seems like millions of people could be laid off from their jobs, whether you're looking at hospitality and hotels or airlines, restaurants, of course. Everyday workers, millions of them could be laid off in the coming days, let alone weeks. And so we're in a catastrophic situation economically right now. However, what the federal government is trying to do is they've passed two bills, economic stimulus bills related to unemployment insurance and paid and family sick leave. They're working on a third one right now that would directly put cash into the hands of Americans, somewhere between $600 to $2,400, along with loans that could be forgiven to a number of small businesses and corporations that have been impacted by the virus. The speed and veracity at which the government needs to act couldn't happen any quicker. They need, the House and the Senate need to act even quicker to try and help everyday Americans, and that's where we lie. I mean, the only thing that Americans can do is to wait for this virus for the curve to be flattened and for the government to try and help them in the temporary until the virus does come to an end.
And when it comes to this issue, too, usually there's two sides of a coin. But right now, I don't hear kind of arguments that we're typically used to in Washington, D.C. Is this the only approach and the best approach to kind of fixing the economy and helping the American worker where we are right now? Kind of a stimulus package to lift them up through these trying times? Or is there a different strategy that maybe we're just not hearing about from different sides of the aisle?
No, actually, it's funny you asked that. This has been one of those rare, remarkable moments when Democrats and Republicans are actually coming together, and there seems to be uncanny, unprecedented agreement between the two sides that this is what we need is a large stimulus package and put money directly into the hands of Americans and small businesses and some companies to allow them to decide what is in their best interest, what they need at this moment to help get themselves out of this crisis. There is no, I'm talking to a number of sources in terms of professors, experts, small businesses themselves. Everyone seems to say what they need is they need an influx of cash right now. They need to be able to have financial resources to keep their businesses running or keep their households running, pay mortgages, rent, things like that. So they really, this is the best way that we have within our current paradigm and systems to try and help people and businesses.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that I'm seeing kind of unity on that front, because I can't stress this enough. Workers are in trouble right now. People are being laid off. They need this assistance because people don't know how they're going to pay their rent next week. They don't even know how they're going to get groceries. So I'd like to see this from the government. But Nihal, I know that there's a lot going on in the economy. I can't thank you enough for taking some time out of your schedule and helping us break this down tonight. Thank you.